And welcome back to another CBB Talk with your boy Will Dickinson. Upsets. That was what this weekend was in college basketball. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so This is not gonna be a super long episode because I'm gonna be a little stuffed up. I have a cold. Don't want my throat to hurt too bad. So this is gonna be a hopefully not too long of an episode just for me. So I'm sorry about that, but we got a lot to talk about. New top AP poll came out today. And I have a lot of grievances with it. So I'm going to talk about that real quick before we get into individual games. So a lot of it's just like Creighton over Colorado State. Like it's hard to be like I have Virginia ranked and I don't have Wisconsin ranked. And that's tough. Wisconsin beat Virginia easily, right? It's just a weird dynamic with rankings, but sometimes it's so hard. Like Creighton above Colorado State just makes no sense. Colorado State's an undefeated team with that beat Creighton. Colorado State over Creighton. It's easy like that. When one team doesn't have a loss, or having Miami over Kentucky. Like I get Kentucky had a bad loss, and we can get into that later, but Kentucky just destroyed Miami. So when I put my rankings, like sometimes I'm just like I have Kentucky one spot above Miami. They have Miami one spot over Kentucky, and it's not a big difference, but it's like I have Colorado State 3 spots over Creighton. It just is like I know you can't do that perfectly for every team, but sometimes I think you should have it like that. And ranking teams is hard. College football playoff committee can talk about that. I don't want to talk about it because again, it's just another opinion, doesn't really mean anything. My opinion, Florida State should have been in. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because I don't think and if Alabama wins the national championship, then fair to them, but I just don't think they will. But let's get into some of these upsets that happened. Look, I'm not gonna talk about some of the smaller outcomes because again, I'm trying to preserve my throat and I'm a little sick. So Northwestern over Purdue. I wanted to talk about this. Right as I was watching this game in this episode, I respect Purdue. Look, I only moved Purdue down one spot after a loss. I moved Northwestern up into my top 25 in the 16 because they're a good team. Boo Booey's one of the best players in the nation. I moved them to 16. They don't have them ranked in AP poll. Maybe that's a little egregious for me, but I really like Northwestern. I got them 16th in the poll, looking really, really good. But here's the thing about Purdue. I hate watching them play. Like I just don't want to root for them. And I should be an unbiased guy, but look, I don't care. I don't have that big of a platform. I'm gonna talk. I hate watching Purdue basketball. Look, we're relying on one guy. It's Zach Edey. Their whole team is Zach Edey. I don't really care what you can say. Yeah, Fletcher Lawyer and Braden Smith, they're solid players. Mason Gill, solid player. Lance Jones, solid player. But Purdue is just not a great all-around team. But they have the best player in college basketball, so it helps a lot. And he's dominant. We saw the reason they only got to overtime was because of Zach Edey. And Northwestern did a great job of not being scared of Edey and playing a lot of guys on them. They weren't afraid to foul, because they did have a lot of foul trouble. 2 guys foul out in this one. Boo Booey was the man. Pretty much played every man in this one. 31-9. Barry 24. Langboard, transfer from Princeton. Shout out to Princeton, still undefeated. We keep up with that on this channel. He had 20. So really the 3-headed monster there for Northwestern with the guards. And look, the bigs, Nicholson only played 12 minutes because of foul trouble, right? So they weren't afraid to foul Zach Edey. 20 free throws for Edey. And look, if I think that's a decent way to beat Purdue is, again, let other people beat you, right? But only 3 people made threes in this one for Purdue. So fouling Edey is a decent way. You're going to get more possessions and expose their guards who are very inconsistent there. Lawyer did have a good one, and this one's 17 points for him. Yeah, I think Purdue's still really, really good, but I just don't enjoy watching them play. And I know I shouldn't put bias, and I don't put bias in my rankings. I got Purdue second. I hate watching them play. They're just boring to watch. Zacky's really, really good. I just don't like him. But look, good win for Northwestern. Speaks a lot about them. And Purdue's going to have They did this last year, lost them. They're gonna have weird losses, and I've come to accept that with Purdue. And my dogs are barking. Shut up. Of course, the other big game on Friday was was Kansas UConn. That was gonna be one of the best non-con games of the year, and we saw Kansas narrowly pull off the win against UConn. They did cover, but I think UConn looked really, really good in this one. I don't know how good Donovan Clingan's gonna be. I don't think he's as good as everyone thought he was coming into the season. We saw Tristan Newton be the man this one. 31 points on the road in Allen Fieldhouse is not easy. And UConn's good. I mean, I have them fifth. That's a move that's moved up since the last time we've talked. I moved Kansas up to 3 in the third in the nation there. Kevin McCullough, 21, hit big time shots down the stretch in this one. Was really the reason they won. KJ Adams with a season high 18. He's so athletic, such a pivotal piece there. He was the 5 last year, moved to the 4, is adjusted really well. Hunter Dickinson hit a clutch, also 3 down the stretch, and Mr. Consistent over there for Kansas, and didn't get a lot of guard play or bench play, but neither of these teams did there. No Stephon Castle really hurt UConn. I think if you have Stephon Castle, you probably do win this game. Caravan did also foul out. No, Nick Timberlake not really being a factor in this one, but I do think Kansas is going to be able to use more depth when we get into conference play and find out, get players more confidence there because they really rely on their starters in this one. And look, DeJuan Harris 1 for 7 from the field there, and L. Marco Jackson had some freshman mistakes there with 4 turnovers. But no, Stephon Castle really hurt UConn, and that was one of the main reasons they didn't end up winning this game. But I really thought UConn looked good. Kansas is going to be really good. Both these teams, I think, we could see them in the Final Four this year. And I'm again, UConn, I do think is the best team in the Big East right now. Marquette suffered a loss, and Kansas, probably the best team in the Big 12. But I like Houston. I like Baylor. I like both those teams. I got Baylor ranked 6th. I got Kansas ranked 3rd, and Houston ranked 4th. Those are my top 3. In the Big 12, I got Texas at 15 as well, and BYU 22. So the Big 12 looks like a dominant conference, as they always are, so far this year. Let's move on to Saturday, where we also had some upset games there. Marquette goes down to Wisconsin in their annual matchup. Wisconsin's a very, very good team. Sorry, I need to pause it real quick. Wisconsin's a team I just have out in my rankings. It's just hard to find spots for them, man. Like I put Ole Miss in there. They're undefeated, looking really good with a win over Memphis. I have Wisconsin just out. Maybe they do deserve to be in it. Clee Smith 21 in this one. Steven Crow 16. Storr 13. Tyler Wall 10. This is a experienced team with a lot of depth, which is huge in college basketball. I mean, having depth is something that a lot of teams have, and they use it well. I mean, I think Marquette, has decent depth as well. Just a not efficient game from Tyler Kulik in this one. 1 for 5 and 3. Joplin was 1 for 9, so didn't shoot the ball amazingly. Igor Garo only 5 points, so you're not gonna have a great game when your big has 5 points. It was a Garland team, but Marquette was pretty much losing this whole game there. I dropped Marquette to number 7 in the rankings there. I still think they're really good, but this was a tough game. Wisconsin's a good team. They've beat Virginia this year. They've suffered losses to, I believe. Who they suffered losses to? I believe they suffered losses to Tennessee, and I can't remember who their other losses to. So they lost to Tennessee and then at Providence, but they're on a nice little win streak again. They got wins over Virginia and Marquette. Wisconsin can definitely compete in this Big Ten this year. At the very top of that league. Marquette, I still think is, if not the best, one of the best in the Big 12. Villanova suffers another loss to Drexel. They end up getting last place in that Big 5. Whatever tournament is, the 5 Philly teams there. Eric Dixon, good game, but no one else really shows up for Nova. They lose by 2 in the Wells Fargo Center. Villanova's a weird team. I'm worried about them. They look really good at points like they did in Atlantis, but besides that, they've struggled. Losses to St. Joe's, losses to Penn, and now lost to Drexel. That's 3 just weird losses for them this year. And Kyle Neptune there's gonna be some pressure on him now with these weird losses that Jay Wright really never had. And the Big East is not an easy conference. And look, I think they're still gonna be a tournament team. They've shown what their potential is to be one of the best in the nation here. They have a great win over UNC, a good win over Memphis, a good win. Did they beat Arkansas? I don't know. No, I don't think they did beat Arkansas, but they have good wins this year. But now they've had some bad losses. They're 6-3. I moved them out of my top 25. They were them and Memphis were the 2 teams actually dropped out, with Memphis has lost to Ole Miss. Yeah, Ole Miss, another win. I really like what was Chris. I mean, Chris Beard's just one of the best coaches in the nation here. Memphis I think is still a very, very good team. But Ole Miss, we'll see how good they are, but this is their first real big test there, and I think they can keep this win streak going because they have an easier schedule before they get into SEC play. And then the other big upset of the weekend was Duke losing to Georgia Tech. This is just a tough look for me. Duke, I had ranked number 1 in the preseason. I dropped them down to 21. They lost to Arkansas earlier last week. That was a game where when they lost, I wasn't too worried. You know, it's a tough place to go play. Not many teams could have won at. But then losing to Georgia Tech is rough. They've lost Tyrese Proctor. We do not know how long he's going to be out. Lost him really in the very beginning of that game. Jeremy Roach played well. Flip wasn't great, but the rest of the team has to step up. I have a really close friend that's a big Duke fan. He watches all the games. Sometimes I can't catch all of them, but I did watch the end of that Duke game. I watched the second half of that Duke game, I would say. My biggest takeaway, his biggest takeaways were really Ryan Young getting a lot of minutes. He didn't love that. And then this inconsistent play from the freshman there. TJ Power at times looks like the best freshman, but he won't get a lot of playing time. Mark Mitchell not getting a lot of I'm sorry, not Mark Mitchell. Sean Stewart not getting a lot of playing time. Mark Mitchell not being able to be really a threat on the offensive end. Jared McCain getting off to a really bad start to his career. So I think they're gonna find their stride once they get more time in, but it's been 8 games, and at some point you gotta start learning out of the rotation here. And it's just not a good look for my number 1 team in the preseason. I do not know what they fell in the AP poll. I think it was like 20. They gotta start winning games here. I don't know if they're gonna be a top 3 team in the ACC this year, because ACC at the top looks very, very good. Of course, with UNC, who got a nice win. RJ Davis playing elite basketball there. Virginia starting to play better, destroyed Syracuse over the weekend. Clemson, of course, I got them ranked. Clemson ranked now this week in the AP poll. Miami always still super good. Had a nice win over Notre Dame over the weekend there. So I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about the from Duke. Oh, and then of course UNCW beat Kentucky. I dropped Kentucky to 12th. Still above Miami there. Reed Shepherd carries that team. Wasn't enough. Look, Rob Dillingham, bad game there. No DJ Wagner in this one. That's not an excuse. They got Aaron Bradshaw back. He's going to need time to warm up in. Just a weird loss for Kentucky. And that's what you get with freshman teams. We see a lot of this at the top of the sport. Arizona, Purdue, Kansas, Houston, UConn, Baylor, Marquette, Gonzaga. These are teams that don't really FAU, UNC. I mean, all these teams really don't rely on freshmen. We've seen that teams have lost a lot at the beginning of the year. Especially the higher ranked teams have been teams that rely on freshmen. It's hard because they're going into a new environment, traveling more than they ever had in high school. Living away from their parents could be something. It's just a different environment, and we've seen that it can come with inconsistency. UNCW is a very good team, could easily win the CAA this year, a very tough conference. But Kentucky, man, I'm not worried. I'm not too worried about Kentucky. I still think they're going to be a very, very good team that can win the SEC here. But we see just inconsistencies from this team. Trey Mitchell, non-factor in this one. Antonio Reeves fouling out. I think Kentucky will be fine. Reed Shepherd again looks like a stud. But it's gonna get consistency, and that's gonna come over time. I'm way more worried about Duke, man, because of Duke has, I guess they also have injury problem. Kentucky does, but Duke just hasn't looked good at all this year. Wow, Kentucky showed a lot of really, really great flashes. That was really it for the major upsets there. We saw FAU continuing to win, looking good after that weird loss to Bryant. Illinois proving me right, having them ranked higher this year. Baylor continues to dominate, looking 8-0. Colorado State with another win. I moved Colorado State up to number 11th in my top 25 there, looking like a legit team this year. So shout out to Colorado State. And Gonzaga got a nice win over USC. Dusty Stromer led them in points there, but just a nice team win. Boogie Ellis with 28, and we're gonna see no Bronny James return in that one, but expecting to come back soon. Collier kind of struggles in the field, and no one else had a great performance there, but it was 15 from Stromer, 15 from Nemhart, a double from Graham EK, 14 off the bench for Huff and Greg, and they have really good big depth, and they got a really consistent point guard over there, Ryan Nemhard, who is going to be able to steady the ship at times. And I think Gonzaga's underrated, but I got him ranked 8th. And I really love this year. I mean, it looks like St. Mary's is not going to be good this year, so could be a smooth sailing in the WCC for Gonzaga. Get another 1 or 2 seed, 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, and a chance to win a national championship. We saw Auburn take a road loss to App State, so shout out to App State there. Could be a solid team in the Sun Belt. We'll see. JMU looks like the favorite over there. I'm still undefeated. I moved Auburn. They were in my considerations, moved them out there. Speaking about JMU, they won by about 79 points. Or not 79, 71 points. Played a D3 school, but 71, and it's a good win. Clemson continues to win. They're undefeated after a road win against Pitt. Pitt was favored in that one. Good game from Joe Girard, 25. PJ Hall also had a 20-point game in that one. Clemson looks legit. I'm ranked 20th. I think they're ranked 24th in the poll there. Good win from Mizzou over Wichita State there. East with 22 there and 9 assists. Mizzou plays Kansas this week. Going to be a very, very good one. Creighton gives Nebraska its first loss. Nebraska was obviously frauds. Baylor Schreiman, 24, hit a lot of threes in that one. Creighton's 1 spot below Colorado. Oh, no. Creighton's 3 spots below Colorado State, ranked at 14th there. I believe that's 3rd in the Big East right now. Louisville starts ACC play 0-1, but kept it decently close against Virginia Tech, so they're going to be better this year. Mississippi State never had them ranked. They just lost a game to Southern, who has now 2 wins this year, so that was pretty pathetic there. For Mississippi State, a home loss to Southern. That's now back-to-back losses. But shout out to Southern. Good win for them. But I doubt it will matter. But that's just probably going to be a quad 4 loss for Mississippi State. That's going to really tank your resume there. It's a seed line drop, maybe multiple seed line drops early. Ohio State beats Minnesota to start out Big Ten play. But that's really it from the weekend. Let's get into a couple games going on. I'll tell you my top 25. And then we'll dip out of this joint. And watch them ball. That's always fun. Iowa versus Purdue. That's tonight. Decent game. Purdue trying to get their first Big Ten win. I don't think Iowa's too good this year. They're showing at 5-2, but I don't know if they're really a tournament caliber team like they have been the last 5 years or so. But we'll see. Purdue. This could be a good chance for Purdue here. To get back on track after that loss. That's really the only enticing game of the day. Let's go into Tuesday. Tuesday has some bangers. We have the Jimmy V, whatever, I don't even know what it's called, Invitational Classic, whatever, blah, blah, blah. FAU, Illinois, great matchup here in MSG. Sorry. FAU is ranked 9th. I got them ranked 9th in the nation here. Which they played really good ever since their loss to Bryant. And they're going against Illinois team that I have ranked 19th in the nation there. So a really, really good matchup. If FAU wins, they're proven legit. Illinois, I mean, this is a great matchup. Terrence Shannon is such a really, really good player there. And I think Illinois might be one of the most under the radar teams. They moved up to 20 in my rankings. I am above, I have one spot above. Yeah, Drexel plays Princeton, so let's watch Drexel coming off a win. Princeton, let's keep being undefeated here. You may be able to sneak into my rankings. You just always been there, but then some team gets a huge win and moves over them. But I would like to get Princeton in, but yeah, FAU, Illinois. Give me FAU. Give me the Owls in this one. I think they're a better team. Neutral site there. Not sure what the showout will be for either of those teams in MSG, but will be a fun one to watch. Providence, Oklahoma's a decent one. Oklahoma undefeated. They're ranked 19th. I don't have them ranked. Providence, they've had some decent wins this year. I think they're a tournament level team. But this is in Norman. It's going to be a tough win there in the Gavitt games. Oklahoma trying to get a win, trying to prove they're a top 25 level team. Wisconsin at Michigan State. Wisconsin, prove to me you're good. Prove to me you're legit. Michigan State, you need a resume win. You need a resume booster. I believe they're 4-3 right now, 5-3. Really good. This could be a great chance for Michigan State to get back on track and heads towards being back to being ranked. In Wisconsin, if you want to be ranked, you got to win this game for me. That's a really, really good one, though. And Big Ten play. Big Ten, once again, the comments play, you're going to have consistent great matchups night in, night out, which is always which is always fun. San Diego State goes at Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's a really, really good mid-major there. San Diego State just down my rankings there. I'll keep an eye on that one. It's going to be a really good one. That's on ESPN News, so you'll be able to watch that one. And then the star of the night on Tuesday night, when we come back on Wednesday, we'll be talking about this game. It's UNC UConn, two powerhouse programs, two blue bloods in MSG. It's a big advantage to UConn and MSG right there. It's going to be home court advantage pretty much for them. But I'm sure UNC fans will travel well. It's just a place that UConn plays before, so there'll be a little bit more, there'll be a little bit more used to playing on that court. I don't know what the word I was looking for. Really good game here. RJ Davis has been playing amazing. Tristan Newton coming off a big game. Baycott versus Klingon. I think these teams match up very, very evenly here. At the end of the day, it's going to be who can shoot the ball better, be more consistent, make free throws. I expect UConn to win this one in MSG. But this is not an easy spot for UConn coming off a loss to Kansas and then going ahead and playing a red-hot UNC team who's had some good wins, but those are at home there. This is not going to be an easy spot for UNC to be in, so give me UConn this one. But yeah, got some really good games. Hopefully I'll be feeling better on Wednesday and I'll be able to talk more. But yeah, it was an upset-filled weekend here. Oh, I'll give you my top 25 real quick before we get out of here. Number 1, Arizona. Number 2, Purdue. Number 3, Kansas. 4, Houston. 5, UConn. 6, Baylor. 7, Marquette. 8, Gonzaga. 9, FAU. 10, UNC. 11, Colorado State. 12, Kentucky. 13, Miami. 14, Creighton. 15, Texas. 16, Northwestern. 17, Tennessee. 18, JMU. 19, Illinois. 20, Clemson. 21, Duke. 22, BYU. 23, Virginia. 24, Texas A&M. 25, Ole Miss. Sorry, San Diego State, Princeton, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, UCLA. You're all close. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed all those upsets, and we'll see if there's any more to come. Peace.